Hey everybody, it's Mo from Save Ferris, and you're watching the Midwest Mixtape Podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Midwest Mixtape Podcast, live from the Barn Studio. You got the Mox here. I'm joined online with a special guest we have via Zoom, right? With the outage now, I guess, over with, or at least for us anyway. We have Monique from Save Ferris. Mo, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Doing really good. Thanks for joining us. I kind of mentioned the little joke there, but we weren't sure this was going to happen. There was obviously some kind of Zoom problem, which the listeners don't care about, but here we are.
Yes, and I'm so happy we're here together.
Yeah, I am too. May 20th at the Old Rock House in St. Louis. You're going to be coming into town, a part of your tour that you guys are embarking on next week. And we're excited to catch you and catch you when you come into town. New tour. How long are you guys going to be out on this tour?
Gosh, it's going to be a long one. We are basically, the tour starts April 25th. And then the day after St. Louis, we're flying over to Europe. We're doing a bunch of shows over there. Then we're flying back to the States to do a few more weeks in the States and Canada. And then at some point, we're going to Colombia and we're going to Mexico. And so it's going to be a few months. I will be away from my new kitten named Sweet Pea, who I will miss very much.
Is Sweet Pea around where we could see her?
Where is she? Sweet Pea. Treat. If I say treat, she comes because she's a little fatty. She loves treats.
We kind of live on not a farm, but out in the country a little bit. We have 12 cats. My daughters are very much animal lovers. So. Oh
my gosh, 12 cats. That's so cool. Hold on one second. Sweet Pea, treat. Kitty, treat. Come here, kitty. Here she comes. I hear her little bell. Come here.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Here she is.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
She's a snowshoe Siamese. She's a rescue.
Oh, very cool.
And I saw pictures of her as a little kitten cozying up to a giant dog that was kind of like her best friend. That was the that the foster mom owned. And I was like, hey, that looks like Grumpy Cat.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And I met her and her little personality was so cute, spunky. It's like, and I just lost my cat of 16 years. So I thought,
I'm sorry.
She must be mine.
Yeah. We mentioned the tour. Is this, it's probably been a while since you've been out for this long a stretch, right? Is this the first time in a while?
Yeah, it has been a while. I mean, I feel like we've just been playing catch up since COVID, just trying to recover. I mean, pre-COVID, we were out a lot, but it's been really an interesting process, sort of trying to string a tour together when, lots of clubs closed during COVID. And so fortunately, we're getting back out there.
Yeah, and you have a new single to support. We have Get Dancing being released on the same day the tour launches, right? The 25th?
It does. On the 25th, the tour launches, and we're actually filming our video this weekend, and we're asking everyone to either come out to be in the video or learn the choreography online and submit a video of you doing the choreography, and it may be used in the video, possibly. As well. And we've gotten some adorable submissions of little girls and their dads. And I hear you have daughters. And guess what? I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Choreography, if it's easy enough for me to do it, it's easy enough for you to do it.
Maybe we should do it here in the studio then. We can send it to you.
Oh my God. That would be like a dream come true.
Oh, I'll absolutely do that. I don't mind that.
I'm crying. That would be so fun.
Could we put the cats maybe up on the bar here or something? Not all 12 of them.
My friend just sent me a video today, and the title of it is when they told me at the rescue that my cat would be a house cat. And then she put photos of Sweet Pea like in different like club settings, like nightclub settings with this like house music playing and another cat spinning records, which I just like, what is happening? So yeah, I guess it's possible for you to also put the cats in the video.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
If my cat could be a house cat, your cats could be dance cats.
Absolutely. We got some that would probably, I don't know. I don't know how long we'd be able to keep them all wrangled in, or at least a couple of them. They do spend some time in the studio here. Can't really see off camera here, but we have some chairs set up, and you'll find them in there sleeping all the time. So we're big animal lovers and cat lovers here, and especially with the rescue thing. So thank you for that.
Oh, of course. Always. Yeah. And my cat before her, all my animals have been rescues, but my cat before her I had for 16 years, and he was a rescue. Him and his sister were a rescue. And I was so in love with my boy Blue. He's been in music videos. I named a song after him, our Christmas song, Xmas Blue. And he's in the video for that, and he's in the promo shots for that single.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, my poor boy. He passed some months ago, and I was just, I don't know. It changes the energy in a household when you have a little furry, life kind of filling it with its joy. I got very lonely without my cat. My boyfriend and I both got very lonely without him.
Yeah.
So having Sweet Pea has been a gift.
Oh, that's amazing. Get Dancing. Right, let's talk about it. Drops April 25th. Tell us what inspired this track and what the fans can expect.
Well, my friend Michael Bradford and I wrote this song together. And, we talk about the dynamic at shows. And one of the best shows, if not the best show I've ever been to, was at the Kodak Theater in Hollywood, when the Specials reunited with Terry Hall for the first time in many, many years. I believe it was 2008 or 2009. And every single person was standing up in their seats, dancing. Every single person. Every single song was just like, it was like a banger. Like we were just like, and I've never felt anything, and I've been to a lot of shows in my life, and I've played a lot of shows in my life, but I've never felt something like that before. And so, Michael and I were just talking about being at shows where people are just not feeling it in the same way that I felt at that special show. And so that's the sort of thing I really want to bring to Save Ferris shows. That's always been my goal, is to get people to just forget about their problems for 65, 75, 85, 95 minutes. And, leave their differences at the door and just come together on this one really amazing topic, which is art and music and dance. And so that's what the song's about. Let's just dance. Doesn't matter what you think you look like, it's about, and you find a community through music and shows, going to shows, and that feeling of just like getting up, getting dressed, getting together with your friends and going to a show, and you feel like on the ride home, I always feel like I've just experienced something really special that will never, ever, that exact moment is never going to happen again. And so all of us are bonded, everybody that was at that show.
And I'm projecting from my own feelings, but music for me is escapism, right? Where I can go to work, I have a long work week, and I'm just beat down and tired and wore down and whatever, and I can go to a show, especially something like a punk rock or ska show, it's hard to walk away not feeling energetic or, uplifted from something like that. And ska has that sound where it feels uplifting and fun. And that's the idea, right?
It is. I mean, I can't speak for the people who created the sound, but I know that that is a big part of what we do in Save Ferris, is try and use that sound as a form of therapy and bringing people together. And I don't know, because that's just what it is for me. That's what it's always been for me ever since I was a kid and I was going to shows as a kid. Ska shows, punk shows, all of it. It brought me, it was therapeutic. It was escapist, like you said. It brought me something that nothing else could provide. And that feeling of being at a show, especially live music, really made me feel like I was a part of something special. I mean, I've been in audiences before where people have picked me up when I've fallen down in the mosh pit, protected me when I'm being trampled, people I don't even know. We put our arms around each other and we sing out loud. We don't even know each other. And in that moment of music and dance, we are united.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times, and again, maybe I'm projecting, but a lot of times it's maybe one of the few places where especially younger kids might feel seen and heard and a part of something where maybe at high school they don't, or other aspects of their lives they don't. I know, again, I'm probably projecting from when I was a teenager, but yeah, very communal and we're all in this together sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's exactly my point. And that was it for me as well. And it kind of still is that for me. And I feel like it's sort of my mission in this life to be able to bring that to other people, young and old. You're never too old to be able to, go to a show and enjoy yourself. And we have fans bringing their tiny children to our shows, which is a big responsibility for me.
Yeah.
There's certain songs that we cover, we probably, like Dead Kennedy songs, we probably shouldn't be playing.
Right.
When you see a 6-year-old in the front row, you're like, okay, we're going to slash that from the set tonight. I just can't, I don't have it in me. But that being said, so you're never too young, you're never too old to be able to get that.
What do you attribute to the longevity of your career? You guys have been at this a while.
Yeah. There was a hiatus in the middle of all of it there, but I never stopped singing. But that being said, bringing my career back in 2013, bringing the band back in 2013 was not easy. It was a fight. I was recovering from major surgery and then legal stuff going on. And but that just made it all that more worth it. And it gave me even more to fight for, because not once did I ever forget about our fans. And I think that's, for me, what's lent itself to the longevity of my career is focusing on that one thing, the fans. I've always said, if people want Save Ferris, I will continue to bring them Save Ferris, and nothing will deter me. And when they stop wanting us, that's when I'll hang up my corset and dance in heels.
I've asked this question before from other artists, but is there a certain aspect of your career that you enjoy more? I've heard some people say it's the live show and it's that live experience and that shared experience with the crowd. But some people maybe prefer the creative aspect of it, or maybe even the business aspect, although I hear a lot of people don't like that part of it. But is there a sort of aspect of your career that you lean towards more than the other?
Well, I mean, I'm like a trained singer. So obviously I'm in this to sing and to entertain. That gives my life purpose and meaning. But there's been so many changes over the last 30 years in me and in our fans and our music and so many different aspects. And I changed so many different aspects in how I perceive what I do have changed and how I perceive them. Recently, I've become far more involved in the business than I have been since the incarnation of this band. So it's been a while, and it's hard to be a part of the business aspect of it in the capacity that I am right now. But what I realized is that there's a couple things. Like, nobody cares more about my band and me and our fans than I do. So who better than to manage this band? Additionally, I got tired of like throwing money out there to people who weren't in this for the right reasons. You know, it's really easy for a manager to just see you as expendable and throw you out there so that they can just collect their percentage and not give a shit about the quality of the show, the quality of the touring, the quality of the care that a venue takes for the band. And so, although it's been a struggle, you know, it's been a huge obstacle that I've been able to overcome, and it's given me so much satisfaction. Yeah, like I've fought it kicking and screaming, but I've realized I'm not going to let anybody oversee this band that doesn't care in the same way that I do.
Just a personal story real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I have a buddy who is a college football coach and very successful at that. And he just took a different job to people would probably say a lesser status job to spend more time with his family, and probably took a big pay cut in doing that. And we're sort of texting back and forth, and in the maybe in the sports community or in the community that he's in, it was probably like a head scratcher for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And what I told him was, said, man, that sounds like a promotion to me.
Right on.
And when you make what I've found in my life and my career, and with this stuff that we do here, when I make choices and decisions that are led with my values and what truly means something to me, even if it's not as beneficial money-wise or whatever, I've never regretted it. And when we talk to musicians that have a hand on their career and they're maybe in charge of some things that used to be run by record labels and managers that were maybe more independent or just leading their career a little bit more than maybe they used to, they always seem happier about that decision. Is that sort of some of the things that you're talking about?
Yeah, totally. It totally is. And, you know, I am under no illusion anymore as to what defines happiness for me. Yeah, like I said, it's not easy, but it's this satisfaction of completing these tasks and doing them in a way that reflects my values and morals, which is that of, you know, love and compassion whenever possible. That is esteem building. And I realized that the thing that kept me from doing it before was all of this external chatter or prior programming from society or family, you know, what about the money, you know, these self-limiting thoughts that I had. Monique, you can't do all of that. You can't do everything. What are you thinking? Because I had people that I worked with in the past that would say those things to me. What are you thinking? You can't do that. But there was this voice in the back of my head that was like, but you can do anything. You can do anything. I believe in you. And I would push that little voice out and go, no, but this guy's right. This guy's like, you can't do that. What makes you think you can do what I can do? And so there's been a learning curve. I've made some mistakes. I try to make right on them the best I can. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't, but I try and be forgiving of myself and others. And like I said, I am under no illusion as to what happiness, what for me defines happiness now. And it's not what everybody else is thinking. It's probably what you were thinking when you said to your friend, that sounds like a win to me. You know, that's that choice that you made to be there for your family. Sounds like you gave yourself a raise, buddy.
I agree. And
Wow.
I think he agrees too.
Yeah. And listen, most people that get to that place have been beat down before we get there. We get beat down until we're like, okay. All right. All I want, all I need, this is all that I need to be happy. I just want some of that. I want some family, or I want some, you know, self-esteem, or I want to be kinder to myself and others, or whatever allows us to be that. But I know a lot of us had to be beat down before we got there, you know. So I give a lot of credit to people who get to that place.
What was your experience like being a woman in the music industry? Maybe even early on, because you sometimes hear some things that are not so pleasant.
Yeah, you know, being a female in the music industry in the 90s, specifically coming out of Orange County in Southern California, where I was raised, was not great for me as being a female. And I see that now. When I was in it, I wouldn't allow myself that thought, because I felt like, you know, I just need to keep going. When I was in my late teens, early 20s, Monique, just keep going, focus on the work. You know, I understand that you see that these guys have these issues, and that maybe they don't want you to be the person that you truly want to be in this life. But just focus on the work and get through it. Now, as an adult lady, I see that young girl and I feel for her, and I wish she had had more tools going in, because, you know, I was totally alone in a sea of dudes, and not all of them gave a shit about me. Actually, none of them did. I'll be honest, not one of them did. I can't think of one person that I had constant contact with in the 90s in my industry that I believe truly wanted me to be healthy and succeed. It was like a constant struggle for me to be respected or taken seriously or heard. And I just stopped trying after a while, because I couldn't fight anymore, you know. And I wasn't really good at fighting because I didn't really have much of a voice, but yeah. So
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, I think it was very limiting. People really just wanted me to be quiet and small. And that's not who I wanted to be.
Do you feel it's better now?
I do believe the industry has gotten much better. I think women we look out for each other more now. Additionally, there are so many men out there who have daughters, and they love their daughters, and they love their wives, and they love their moms, and they love their sisters, and they really understand that like we're all in this together. And by spreading out the love and compassion and the success and all of those things, all of us are in it together, you know? So I'll admit that I didn't get here alone, but I can tell you that I have never heard any of the men that I've ever worked with say that I helped to get them to where they got to. So I spent a lot of time spreading the love and the thanks. Didn't get a lot of it in return. And that's an indication and an indicator to you what it must have been like for me in the 90s.
I'm sorry to hear that was your experience.
I know, it's sad. It's like, I was talking about this in another interview where my boyfriend put on the documentary for Woodstock 98, was it?
99, yeah.
Woodstock 99, 98. And I just watched a few minutes of it and I was like, I can't, I have PTSD. It was like so traumatizing. I was like, that was the atmosphere. It was like a dumpster fire. Like the whole industry was a dumpster fire and women were we were just standing there topless in the middle of it like, oh God.
Do you blame society for that? That we helped, at the very least, let it be?
I don't know if I blame anybody. I mean, I don't even like blame the guys that were like complete a-holes, you know, like, and I don't blame the guys that were just like, take. I think we were, I mean, they were just a product of their environment, just like we women were. And we were all silent. And instead of fighting for each other as women, we were scared. We were scared for our careers. I would watch women get blacklisted for speaking out against men who, mistreated or mishandled them. That was just a regular occurrence in the 90s. Women being written off as crazy for standing up to wrongs that they believed were happening to themselves or other people or other women. So we were all women, we were all, for the most part, so many of us were sort of like scared, like if I raised my voice, I could lose my career. So I didn't, and I was, like I said, I think just like men were, I think I was a product of my environment as well, because I was raised in an environment, again, that was like, just be quiet and stay small, or people won't like you anymore.
And I know we're deep here, and I didn't mean to take it that way, but I do think
okay.
I think these conversations are important to have, and I think I don't know if this is the case, but when you see things like that, sometimes it comes from insecurity from males, right? Like, what is this woman doing that we can't do ourselves, kind of thing. And have you experienced any of that?
Well, I don't know. Like, there are so many. I've never had, like I said, I've never had any of the guys come forward that mistreated me to apologize. So I don't know what their reasonings were. I don't know ultimately. I mean, ultimately, I believe they just haven't really done the work. And so maybe they don't think they did anything wrong. And that's okay. I'm sure it could be a bevy of reasons, jealousy, a negative relationship with their own mothers. Some girl that, messed with them when they were, in 6th grade. So maybe I resembled someone that they didn't like. Or maybe it was just okay, and that was what they were taught. That it was okay to be that way.
I probably should have mentioned that I'm a therapist in my real job.
Stop it.
Yeah, I'm a mental health therapist.
Amazing. I love therapists. I love therapy. I've been in therapy a long time.
I'm a big believer in it. Obviously, I made a career out of it, but and I always say I feel like the luckiest guy in the world because people pay me, not people, but insurance pays me to help people, which is something I would do for free, right? Like, who wouldn't want to help somebody? So I always feel like I'm the luckiest guy to ever, like I hit the lottery.
I love that. I really do. I think that's so great. I think like if I had an easier time with school and memorizing things, which I'm really bad at, maybe I would have been a therapist, but the way I do that is through music. That's how I help other people, or at least I try. I just hope and pray that there is some meaning in it for all of us.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about music, and music was that for me and continues to be. So that's why, to me, I feel like the worlds kind of intersect in a lot of different ways. And speaking of music, you kind of mentioned that you took a little bit of a break for a little bit, and you actually became like a in-studio musician. You helped out with a lot of different artists, and you worked with a lot of different artists from a lot of different genres. You worked with The Used, Goldfinger, Hillary Duff. How do you feel that those experiences helped you grow as your own artist?
It made me feel like, first of all, it was really fun because I realized I was good at something else, which was being able to make my voice sound like different styles of singers and different people. So I ghosted on a lot of records for other singers as well, because I realized I could make my voice kind of sound like them as well. So that helped get me a lot more work. And that was really fun. That was like a really fun challenge. I really enjoyed it.
And the ultimate cameo, she has a girlfriend now, right? Real Big Fish. What do you remember about that experience? How did that come about, I guess, first and foremost? But what do you remember about recording it?
Well, I think I may have been like 19 or 18. And at the time, I was friends with the guys in Real Big Fish and with Aaron Barrett, the singer. And I was dating the bass player, Matt Wong, for some years. And I was in another band called Larry, and all the Larrys were friends with the Real Big Fishes. And we used to all rehearse at the same place together. And I remember Aaron coming to me one day when I was at the studio and saying, I think I want you to sing on a song with me. And I remember the words being written on like a yellow notepad paper. And it was like, this is a fun song. And then John Avila produced it. And then years later, in 2017, when I brought the band back and I was doing our first album in many years, I called John Avila and he produced the Save Ferris record, Checkered Past. So it all came around full circle, and John was just as lovely and kind as I recalled when I was an insecure teen.
Full circle moment, it sounds like.
Full circle moment.
You mentioned the OC, and you guys obviously came up with around the same time, maybe a little bit after, No Doubt. And I know you had a pretty good relationship with them. Can you talk about that some?
Well, yeah. So No Doubt had been around about 10 years prior to Save Ferris becoming a band. They were definitely a huge part of our scene, them and Sublime. And yeah, another full circle moment. Irvine Meadows Amphitheater, which I grew up going to see shows at in Orange County, was closing its doors. And Gwen Stefani was playing the last 3 shows there and had Save Ferris open for her. And this had to have been in 2016, maybe? Something like that, yeah. So that was a cool full circle moment where she and I looked at each other and were like, how come we've never played together before? How is it that we don't know each other?
Oh, you didn't know each other?
No.
Oh, wow.
Again, like it was an industry that really kept us very separate, kept all the ladies very separate. We were told, like, you can't have another female opening for you. You know, that's not what you do in this industry. Radio DJs telling me, we don't play women back to back on this station.
Wow. Like there's a quota or something.
Yeah. And I always, and only up until a few years ago, this was still happening where you'll see bills for shows where there's that one token girl. They just threw her in just to be like, here, throwing you a bone, girls. Can't call us misogynists now. We threw a girl in on the festival bill of 60 bands. We have a girl up there. I'm like, thanks a lot, dude. But so that was a fun full circle moment with Gwen. Yeah.
I've taken up too much of your time. I'll let you get out of here. We have Mo from Save Ferris. May 20th, they're going to be at an old rock house in St. Louis, Missouri, saveferris.com. And the new single will be out next week, probably by the time this airs. Get dancing, and you're going to get that video of me and all my cats and all my daughters and wife, and we're going to be dancing in here. So I'm going to hold you to that.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
I really enjoyed this conversation. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, you seem like such a wonderful human being, and best of luck to you and your cats and your daughters.
All right, that video's coming.
You promised. I'm going to hold you to it.
Yep. May 20th at the Old Rock House in St. Louis. Save Ferris. We'll see you when you get into town, okay?
All righty.